Hi everybody, this is going to be a video that's going to go over how students can show their work digitally. So this is mainly focused on math teachers specifically, looking for ways that we're having students show their work when we provide digital assignments for them. And I'm going to be doing this through Google Classroom, so just, to let you know kind of some of the, that's the route I'm taking on this particular video. So the thing about math is that it's really difficult, right? If we don't see work, we're not really sure how to analyze it. We love looking at work. We love analyzing work and giving feedback. So it can be difficult when we give digital assignments because we're not sure exactly how they're getting their answers. And we just don't get that piece that we're looking for typically in the classroom. So for the first couple of weeks of school, we're going to be online. So it's this can be helpful. I've really been thinking about this a lot this summer because thinking about my own classroom, what that's going to look like is really important to me. So I'm going to kind of show you just like 2 ways and a couple of different strategies for each way as far as what I'm thinking about using for the classroom for having students show their work digitally. Okay, so let me kind of click through. Here we go. I got to drag. There's like not a good spot for my head. I'm just going to move it down here. So there's kind of 2 different scenarios of how that I'm going to work in my classroom as far as how they're going to show their work. And then the other part and the piece of that is that there's kind of 2 different ways that you can have them attach their work essentially to an assignment. You can have them attach it within an activity, or you can have them attach it to the Google assignment online. So I'll show you both of those ways, as well as using Jamboard, which is kind of like an online, it's an online writing, like an online whiteboard, that's what it's called. And they can use their mouse to write on Jamboard, so they can do it, it's purely digital, so they can use their mouse or a tablet, which I'll show you in a few minutes, or just having them, again, uploading a picture either on their cell phone and posting it, or on the computer. And so I'll show you, being the student, if you were going to be posting the assignment, how you would do that on the computer if they were just taking a picture of something. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pop onto Google Classroom. And so here's my fake Google Classroom that I have so far. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to classwork and I'm going to create an assignment. So I'm just going to go ahead and create the digital assignment that I would have done. And so I like to use emojis when I'm making assignments. So there we go. So this would be like 2 function notation worksheet. So on another video I had made, I talked about how to create your paper assignments for online. So I made this paper assignment, and something that might be helpful too for students is sometimes, like, you can look at this, it looks really small, right? So students will try to use this zoom feature, and depending on what type of browser they're using, it can be kind of difficult to read because it kind of zooms in everything. So what I like to tell them to is make sure that they're zooming in on the actual Google slide. Okay, so here's something that I made up. This was an assignment that we already had for algebra. So I went ahead and created some directions. Let's see what the scroll bar is. There it is. And so this is like a coloring worksheet that we would have done in class. And I asked them on a separate sheet of paper to solve and show their work as needed. So I'm actually going to show you how to do the uploading picture work first. So that's the first one, and then I'll show you Jamboard second. And so separate sheet of paper and solve and show the work needed. Please indicate the problem used. Type in the answers on this page. Okay, so that's kind of the instruction, and then they have the option of kind of dragging these shapes and coloring them so they can color the little picture at the bottom. So, and so there's kind of 2 things. So you could say, please attach work on the second page. So I'm going to go ahead and just insert a blank page. There we go. And you could even type at the top of this page, like, please post, we'll just say for now, picture of assignment here. Okay. And so that would be the instructions. So this is kind of the first way we're going to do it by picture. And then we're also going to do it where they are posting it within the assignment. Okay, so there's like the activity sheet. And so I'm going to go ahead and go in here. And back to my assignment, I'm going to grab it. Maybe. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to go ahead and move my head so I can insert. And again, remember to change it to make it copy. You can make it like this, or whatever, like you want. I don't know how many questions were on that. I wasn't really looking. Let's make it up, say 12. And then you could put a due date on it, right? Sometimes it's nice to schedule these too, which is up there. And we'll say unit 3. Okay. And you can actually attach a rubric too. That's something. I'm probably going to be doing that for other assignments. All right, so that looks pretty good. And again, you could either schedule or assign. We're going to go ahead and just assign it. And then I'm going to show you how to do that as a student. So sometimes it takes a few seconds to assign. So you can also reorder Google Classroom to kind of fit the way you like it. So there it is, the function notation worksheet. So I'm going to go in as a student, and I'm going to go to classwork, and you will see the assignments right there. And I'm going to show you how students would see it and just like how they would attach their work. All right, so here it is, and there's this little view assignment. Okay. So there's kind of two ways, again, that you could say this. You could have them attach it either directly onto the assignment. So like when I posted this, you could have them post it right here. Please post a picture of your assignment here. Or you could have them post it, shouldn't have like moved my head out of here, here. So I'm going to show you both ways on this, and then you just kind of, it's a preference thing, right? So this is where students are doing it by hand on paper, and then they are posting it either to the assignment or onto the slide, if that makes sense. Okay, so let me get the paper, and I'll like grab my paper. So I'm going to show you again, like I'm in the assignment. This is me as a student, and I'm here. Let's say I already answered all these questions, and I always add these text boxes, but let's just say that I think that's like 12 or something. All right, so you could type them in, and again, they could zoom in if it was too small so they could see it a little bit better. And so after I completed it, I would go here, and as a student, I would go to Insert and Image. And they could either, on their phones, it's really easy too. It just like, they just upload this. Kids always get it, fast. But, and then you just hit Camera. And so it would grab my camera, which I'm currently using. So it's going to, I'll change it. I'll pause and then show you. But, and then you would they'd hold the picture up like this, right? And then they would hit the little camera button on it, and it would just upload it there. And so sometimes you might need to maybe, if you feel like it's going to be a lot of work, you could have multiple slides, and then that way they could insert a few pictures if it was going to be a couple pages of work, or you could provide that in your instructions. So that's kind of that. I'm going to pause this really quick, and then I'll take pictures of it and I'll upload them for you. So it's not amazing because I had to use my camera and I didn't want to have to piece the video guide together, but essentially they would just take a picture, right? And so then they would upload it there. So there's kind of that. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it would be if you wanted them to just attach it to the assignment on the outside. So let's say that these pages were gone, right? We'll just delete them. And after they were complete with the assignment, they would add their work in here. So if you were doing that, I would definitely make sure in the directions, like on the original assignment, I would say something like, make sure to include your work in order to get credit, or whatever language you use. And so they could attach it by taking a picture using just their computer desktop. And I just tell them to Google Camera on their, I could even do it, I guess, camera on their screen. And then from there, see, it's mad at me because I'm already recording. But from there, they could take a picture and then again upload it to the assignment. So that's kind of like the old school way to do it, as far as just if you wanted it by hand. So and they would just attach that here and then turn it in. Okay, so that's kind of the paper method. Now the jamboard method, which was the other strategy, would be, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Jamboard is like that interactive whiteboard, and so it's really cool because you can write on slides. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is my account, so let me just go ahead and make a new one. And you just type in jamboard.google.com. Fairfax County people, we all have Jamboard. It's like in our little waffle at the top. And so Jamboard's super easy to use. There's like pens. This is me on my mouse, by the way, and then I'll show you what it looks like on the tablet. And you can erase stuff, and you can clear it, and you can add sticky notes and all these neat things. But what's nice is that students can actually write directly on these slides. I used this last year a lot for like office hours, because as soon as I discovered it and figured out that it would work, I'd be able to work with a small group of students, and we'd all be able to look at the same thing, and they could actually all at the same time be writing on the same slide. And so it was really neat to see that kind of interactive piece. Okay, so when you're on here, you could have them, if it was for this assignment, you could have them kind of dual screen it. So splitting the screen in half, which was, you just hit the Windows button and a right arrow, and it'll pop out, and I'll show you in just a second. I'm going to make sure I'm on the right account. So let's see if I can get, there we go, back to it. So looking at, let me go to jamboard.google.com. And so making sure that, oops, there we go. I'm in the right account, so that way you can see it actually on here. So here's like a new Jamboard. You could even have the students title it, like if you're like, hey, I want you to show your work on Jamboard, you could say the function notation worksheet, right? What's the title of that? And they could title it with their stuff. And then what you can do, I'm just going to pull this out, and I'm going to do that Windows left key button, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab the other one. And so I could look at the problems over here, and I could say, okay, like f of x, and I'm just writing this again with my mouse. You can even have them number it, like number 1, and then f of 3, and they could write on there is equal to 4 times 3, which is 12. And so you could have them write it, and you can see it's not great. They're actually better at writing on this stuff than I am. This is me on the tab, like the regular mouse. I don't know if that's any better. But that's using just your mouse. Now, this is something that I had a couple of students use last year when we were online, and they just had it because their parents bought it, and I'll put the link for this. It's from Amazon. I think it's like $35. So if students are able to get something like this, it might be awesome because they can actually write. And this just connects to, it's just like a little writing tablet, and it connects to like a USB cord, so it just slides right inside the computer. And on here, it comes with a pen, and all you do is write on it. It takes some practice to get used to it. It's a little bit weird, but it'll, like you see, I already picked up my signal for the pen, but it's definitely easier to use than your mouse. So this one's like G. Okay, so we could do like 2 times, and you can see it looks a lot better, times -3 squared, so it'll be 2 times 9, which is 18, right? So that's like something that I think for my students that had it, it was awesome because they could write on it just like they would write on a normal problem, and they really liked it. So just a thought, and even for being a teacher, something to think about. Again, I'll put the link in the video description. Okay, so that's kind of what it would look like, and if they needed more room, Jamboard's so easy to use. You just click the arrow button, and then you just, if they were going to go to question number 4, and then, whatever it was, like, I'm just like clicking around now. But they could just type in, g of x, and go, whatever. Okay, so that's what it would look like. And there's kind of 2 ways. There's so many different things you can do this. So they've written all the work, how to attach it to the assignment. So it's very easy if you want to attach it. all you would do, I'm like back over in my student, and I would just click add and create, and you could just do a link. And all they have to do is share the link with you. So I go to share, move my head out of the way. It's always in the way. And I just hit copy link and paste it into the student one. And that is it. And then I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to have this one turn in. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this one in. And so when I went into the teacher account, the way that that looks, I'm back in the teacher account. I'm going to go down to the assignment, view assignment, and there her assignment is. On there, that's like the answers. I guess I took off the other part of that. That's right. But you actually have access to the link. Hang on, let me get back over here. Okay, so it's right here. And so you could look at, if it was one page, that would be enough. But if you needed to look through it, you could click on open on Jamboard. And the cool thing about this is that as the teacher, I can go ahead and I can like even change my color, and I can write like little feedback like, whoops, you forgot to whatever. You can actually write on this slide because they shared it with you. And again, it's an interactive whiteboard. So just again, that's pretty cool. You can also, take this off. You can also have them make a PDF out of their Jamboard. So it's just an idea, but you could have them download it, those 3 little dots, and download as a PDF. And you can even download as like a JPEG, like as an image, but it would download like this, and you could have them attach it that way, right? So if you didn't want to like get in there and do that, you'll see that they already saw the feedback that I wrote on the other side. So just an idea. If you have an iPad, it's awesome because Jamboard, it writes so nice. So like they like do this to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. So an iPad on here, I can pull up Jamboard, and I have an Apple Pencil, but you don't need Apple Pencil. You can use your finger or a stylus with your choice, but you can just write right on the slides. If your Apple Pencil is charged, which mine is not, and it's really cool because again, you could give feedback that way. And I'll be doing another video on how to grade using an iPad on Google Classroom because it's very easy to grade as you would standard normal paper. Okay, so those are kind of the options that I'm planning on using in my classroom. So again, you could use Jamboard, you could just have them take a picture, upload it to attach to the document, and you could have them link the Jamboard within the assignment. So let me just, let's see if I can return this back to her. And so you can actually have them submit the link within the assignment just like we did originally, like posting a link on that second page. So you could say, post the link here, or you could have them attached to it on the front. And then that's like kind of a lot. But anyway, all right, I think that's enough, right? So let me just look over my list, save as a PDF and upload. So again, it is difficult showing work online, but it's really important for us to see work, especially as math teachers, to be looking at it, not just looking at answers. And of course, you don't have to do this for every assignment either. I was never planning on being able to grade through so many students' work at one time. But a few assignments or even an exit ticket, you can have them complete, 2 questions, and you can grade them by hand so that at least it's some kind of more analytical feedback. So the 2 ways, like I said, what I talked about was you can have to take a picture and upload it, or you can have them use Jamboard. And there's so many other ways that you can have students, and they're so tech savvy that they probably have a million ways that you can, that they can send you their work. But those are some ways, and I'll be working on videos for my students to show them how to do these as well. So if you're interested in that, I'm sure they'll be posted in the next month or so. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching, and I hope it was helpful, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.